Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of I Am I. My name is Joshua Ansley, and let's see, what are we going to talk about today? So, there are about 118 plus elements in the periodic table, right? Now, science is a wonderful modality of understanding the reality, modern science, but I just want to remember that it's still just another modality of understanding reality. It's not to diminish it or embellish it, it's just understanding its place, right? So there's a lot of different ways of viewing it. So 118 plus different elements, and we're always finding out more and more and more. I mean, science is twisting itself on its head too, So I personally believe in an amalgamation, a little mixture of ancient philosophy. I'm not a traditional dude at all, but also because we are in contemporary times, things are different, life is different. Our reality, this physical reality, this prakriti, this matter is all different than what it once was then. But yet there are some things that are still absolutely the same, right? So there's some stuff that still holds, but we have to be able to discern which is fucking patriarchal bullshit that is just established from men writing these scriptures for fucking thousands of years, and just being stuck in a world and a reality that is completely different than it is now. And we don't know what the hell it is now. That's the thing. My friend was talking recently about Russell Brand in an interview, and the person said, what's your solution? He's like, I don't have a solution. Can we just sit in the problem a little bit, That's the place where we're at now. Anyway, so I don't want to get off too much into that, but so understanding about, I've said that before, about sitting in the problem, right? And being able to sit with it and being okay with that, right? Not just constantly needing to get to a place where we're okay and everything needing to be exactly as we need it to be in order for us to be okay. Understanding that we are okay. Okay, I'm getting tangential. So I want to talk about the elements here. So I want to talk this idea of 118 plus elements in the periodic table, right? There are other modalities, like traditional Chinese medicine uses 5 elements, and I'm going to talk about 5 elements too, not traditional Chinese medicine, but the ancient sages and rishis, established this understanding of prakriti and this breakdown in this really complicated philosophy of which I don't know jack shit, right? But I do know this. Breaking it down into the 5 elements is a really powerful, practical way to understand a little bit about ourselves and a little bit about how we can adjust to the world, and understand that we can bring in these qualities of these elements into our body, into our physical body, into our emotions, into our mental states, all of it, so that we can see where we might need a little bit more, right? So the 5 elements being earth, air, fire, water, and ether, in no particular order, right? So understanding, as we went through the chakras, we talked a lot about these different elements, but I didn't really work with them, particularly in the vlog, and I'm doing this in class all week, is really working through the same postures, but working with these different elements. It's a really interesting way to see how much it affects your mental state, how much it affects your physicality, as you're working through the yoga poses with earth and grounding and the heaviness of the limbs, as opposed to the air and the lightness of it, as you just think up or you think down, how it can change things, right? So just as a quick way of working through it, it's understanding that all these elements are present in our bodies, right? We have the earth, we have the bones, we have this matter, this density in us, right? This grounded nature to us, this stableness, the stability and the steadiness, right? And that's, in our bones. It's the very nature, down to the core of who we are. We are absolutely stable and steady, right? And so we can feel that we can use this gravity and this feeling of the weight of our bodies, feeling of the gravity bringing us down into the earth to truly connect into the electromagnetic field of the earth. They say as you meditate, I don't know who they are, but there's research that says as you meditate, and who the fuck knows? Just remember that nobody has a fucking clue. Like, even medical science has no freaking clue. They do some really cool stuff based on symptoms and this physical reality of stuff, and they do handle a lot of amazing things like heart transplants and shit like that, which is unbelievable. But then a common cold, we don't even fucking know. It's crazy, right? So there's research that shows that as you meditate, your brave wavelength approaches that of the wavelength of the earth, of the electromagnetic field of the earth. I mean, it's amazing. There's some people that don't believe in meditation, some spiritual, you know, schools that believe that meditation comes much further and it's a very different thing, and I'm like, dude, that's ridiculous. These are really practical ways and breathing techniques and meditation to manage your life, to manage stress, to manage now the idea is, of course, the philosophically, as we get past all of that we don't have to have the stress if we recognize the true nature of ourselves. That's fucking fantastic. But let's here and now, in this present moment, I know that I know intellectually that I am fucking God, and I am Tat Twamasi, that I am all and experiencing all with everything. But let's also be practical in how we're gonna go and to deal with our kids and to deal with our bosses and deal with our lives, right? Come on now, people. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, so, and you know me, I'm all about that spiritual, wacky, crazy shit, and applying it in everyday life, you know. Anyway, so really grounding down into the earth, we can even visualize and understand using a mountain, right? Using the strength of the earth and the stability of the mountain to really just even visualizing that, maybe down in that lower first chakra if you want, like just really grounding down. And so it's setting ourselves up into a psychology, to use these words, right? To make it more approachable, a psychology of safety and strength. All you have to do is fucking think down, is feel the gravity pulling you down. Feel that weight. So if you're too like chaotic and crazy, then maybe some deep ujjayi, victorious, easy, or just grounded, steady, long breath, right? And then just taking that and feeling that gravity keeping us down into the earth. Feel the weight of the body. Just let everything surrender. Just let everything go and feel the heaviness and the weight of it, right? And this is a powerful practice as you picture a mountain or something like that, and you can just feel it grounding you down into the earth. But as they all work together, we don't want to get too rigid and too stuck, right? So even now in our emotions or in our lives, if we are too, you know, stuck and stubborn in this way, then maybe we need to work with a little bit of flow, right? So maybe we're too grounded, right? Maybe we don't have enough of this flow. And as we open up into the water, into the viscous nature of being fluid, of being able to bend so that we don't break, right? We have these muscles and all these ligaments that are able to flow, right? We have this blood flowing through the body, bringing this life into every cell in our bodies, right? So stepping into that flow, as we step into the yoga practice, being able to flow through the muscles, but also in our emotions, being able to be liquid and allow some flow into those emotions and some flow into the thoughts, some flow into our belief system so we don't get rigid and stuck. I mean, that is the curse of fucking life, is just getting stuck in this dogma and this place that there's no openness, right? So it's not some rigidity of telling you, you have to do this, you have to do this. What if instead of God is telling you, you have to fucking do this and you have to do this and this is the way it has to be perfect? What if it's actually just that what if God is just a space? If it just holds, what if it just holds space for you? What if it just holds space for you to be who you are and to experience all of life as you are? What if that's what God does? If it just allows you to flow, if it gives you the space to flow, right? So what if it's not having to be this way or that way? You just let the tears flow. You can just let that liquid happen, let that emotion flow so it can come out, right? So maybe we need a little water in our lives, because water, as Bruce Lee said, you know, be like water. It can flow or it can crash, right? So it has that power. It has that power to flow and to flow around and to become anything else, right? And to fit the mold. Now, if some of you are bending all the time in relationships and you're not doing it, and you know, you're doing it in a sense of like trying to get accepted in that space, so you're always bending and you're always giving and, you know, all this kind of stuff, then maybe you need to stand your ground a little more. Maybe you need to get into that earth, to get into that strength of stability and know that you are strong and steady. So it's knowing ourselves and seeing where we might need so we can ebb and flow into these other places, right? So, or maybe you have all this flow, like, and you're fucking chill and you're cool, but you're also grounded and steady, and you don't do shit. and you're just tired and you're lethargic all the time and you are too heavy and you're flowing down, everything's flowing down, right? Then maybe we need to spark that fire up a little bit. Maybe we need to get charged, right? And recognize that spark that is in the body, the electricity that is in your nervous system, every synapse that fires, every thought that you have is a spark, is something great, so that we can get into that creative space, so we can get into that creation, and maybe we can stoke that fire with every breath. You know, these all use each other too, so they come into balance. Without that air, there is no fire, right? So it would be stifled. So they're all complementary to one another, right? So maybe we stoke that fire a little bit and get that fire fucking burning. You know, I'm in an issue right now, I'm afraid of my fire because I've been burned, you know, and I've burned other people. You know, but now I just want to let the fire burn everything off. Let yourself just be fucking engulfed in those flames and let it cleanse everything out. And let that fire fucking burn you. If it's rage, you know, it's like all this space of like not feeling our emotion. I shouldn't be angry. Fuck that, you shouldn't be angry. Get fucking angry. Feel it. Let it fucking flow through you. Don't get angry like this. Get angry like this. And let it fucking move and find a safe space in order to let that shit the fuck out. God, get it out. Live fully. Stop blocking it and being afraid of that searing fucking pain. Let it move through you. The pain comes from blocking it. Let that fire fucking burn it all off. Let it rip you open. Let it burn you alive so you can truly live. Or maybe just take a breath. Right, maybe just come up into that lightness, that airiness, that gentleness, that tenderness, opening, that forgiveness. Can we be light with ourselves? Can we forgive ourselves? Forgiving others is fantastic. Of course we want to do that, right? But you know what? It'll be so much easier to forgive others when you forgive yourself. If you start there, if you start forgiving yourself, knowing how beautiful and amazing you are as a human being, knowing what an incredible piece of creation you are. I mean, it's a miracle. It's remarkable that you're even alive. Just to be alive, to have this breath, this gift coming into your body. Don't you see how fucking beautiful you are as a piece of life, as a piece of earth on this planet? Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I'm meek and gentle with these butchers. So maybe we just need to breathe and take it a little bit more lightly. Let a little bit of humor, a little levity, a little lightness into our lives. Maybe we just think up. We think about floating in the clouds, right? Feeling ourselves just floating. So in our practice, can we just float down through the vinyasa? Can we actually just float into these poses? Can we float through life a little bit? Can we wear life like a loose garment, just blowing in the breeze, right? See, the reality is that all of these are happening at once. So you can bring your awareness to any one of them. If you see yourself getting rigid and stuck and you're feeling even tight in the body, you can imagine flow coming into that space. Imagine water coming into that body. If you're too chaotic and all over the place, right? And maybe it's too much fire. Maybe you're panicked and you're all over the place. So maybe you think about some water there too, or maybe throw some dirt on there and ground it down. If you are maybe like too scattered and you can't think clearly, maybe you get a little bit of grounding, right? Or maybe if you're too heavy, you get that fire again going to spark it up so you can get some movement or maybe some air to lift it up. So they're all accompanying and complementing each other, but some awareness of what we're sitting in. So, all right, sorry, my phone totally died. I had to go charge it. So getting to the ultimate, to the fifth element, right? So the fifth element is ether, spirit, consciousness, awareness, any one of these new contemporary ways of saying it, whatever, however you want to call it, right? But it's that space of awareness. So while all these physical, tangible things that are happening, these elements that are in the world, this one is sort of beyond the world, right? It is that nothingness. It's in that nothingness that we become everything, in that state of being able to be aware, just aware of what's happening. That when we become that awareness, there's a little bit of separation. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the thoughts, I am not the emotions, I am not any of that. I am this awareness. But in that awareness, then we're able to engage fully with our thoughts, with our emotions, right? But there's a sense of separation so that we are not enmeshed in it and just stuck in this little tiny space of it, right? We're able to see a bigger picture. It's unity consciousness, one with everything, that we are one with everything in the world. And when we really recognize that, as I speak about all the time in really deeper philosophical ways, and some of them real just light and simple, right? You know, basically it's we all come back to the simplicity of just being able to live a fucking good life. Right? But these methods have helped me, being able to use these elements and understand the separation from these elements into this space of awareness. So I get a little bit of distance, and then I can see where I am too heavy, where I am too light, where I am too on fire, where I am too flowing, or where I need to be more of this or that or this or that and that and the other thing, right? And so that space of awareness, but not to get stuck back in over-analyzing, intellectualizing everything. That's not it. It's outside of the mind. It's a state of that awareness that then operates the mind, right? So from that space, from that ether, from that spirit, the spirit of who you truly fucking are. Again, maybe this space is just a space that holds for us to be who we truly are, right? That philosophy that tells us that we are whole and complete and absolute and amazing, and that's fucking fantastic. If you can grasp that, and if you can hear that just for a moment and let that ring true in you, and then understand how to bring that into this world so we can bring heaven on earth. And it's not about going to some fucking ashram and living there your whole life on the top of a mountain. You want to do that, that's fucking fantastic, that's fine. But I think if you're watching this video, you don't. You want a full, beautiful life, full of love and grief and sorrow and happiness and being able to step into all of it, because it's all going to pass, it's all going to move, it's all going to change. If you find this, say you find a partner, you're not going to spend the rest of your life with that partner till the day, even if you do, till the day you both die 50 years from now, you're both going to fucking die. And one of you is going to have to die at least a second before the other one, so there's going to be at least a bit of grief in there, you know? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm saying everything's always, it's changing, so it's able to come into that steadiness within it, that changeless space, which is actually how we're able to observe and actually know that there is change in the first place, because we have to be able to see from a place of unchanging, from that changeless change and that actionless action. So from that place of steadiness, we take action in the world. So in every action there is stillness, in every stillness there is action, right? So it's all, I don't know, I'm just fucking rambling, but that's it, man. The fifth fucking element, from that space, being able to engage more fully in life, because we're not running from any of it. We have a little bit of space so we can feel all the emotions and let them pass through. We can have these thoughts and not judge ourselves for them. We can forgive ourselves and others. We can live a beautiful, grounded life as we take action and step into places that are going to be difficult and challenging and bring grief and sorrow as we lose things. But if we never step in to get things, then we don't know what it is to lose. We don't know what it is to be emotionally mature, to live through this life. And then maybe we go sit in a fucking mountaintop. I don't know. I love you, kids. Peace. Happy holidays. What? Too much?